yo, check. I might need to turn it down too, actually. No, we're Gucci. Alrighty, we are live, and yeah, we are live, man. You know what I'm saying? It's your boy Danny G. You know what I'm saying? There's another episode of the Circuit podcast here at Troit Ent Studios in Arlington, Texas. You know what I'm saying? If you live in the area, if you are a rapper, singer, or a vocalist, a DJ, a producer, whatever, you need beats, you need a video, whatever, what have you, man, hit us up, hit up Troit Ent. Man, you know, got the best services for the best rates. I know a lot of artists locally and all over the Metroplex, and even myself, have done some work with Troit and him in his studio and everything like that. So, you know, I can tell you firsthand that homie goes hard. He'll help you. He'll really work with you, you know what I'm saying, one-on-one with whatever you're trying to get done and shit. So, yeah, man, you know what I'm saying, if you're in the area, the DFW area, fuck with Troit Ent, fuck with the Circuit podcast and stuff, man. Yeah, it's, I don't know, what's today's date? The 21st of May, you know what I'm saying, 2017. Whatever, big chilling here on a Sunday morning, a little different than other podcasts. On a Sunday morning, you know what I'm saying, got the homie Lamont here again, and everything. You know what I'm saying, we just doing what we do. But yeah, man, you know what I'm saying, this is gonna be, I guess, a bit of a different podcast. I just want to talk about some different stuff. Shit, you know what I'm saying? So I want to talk about like a topic that a lot of people, I think, can relate to, and something that, I don't know, I'm just gonna talk about it. I'm not but like, you know, people dealing with anxiety. You know what I'm saying? I feel like anxiety and stress and stuff like that is a big thing, and going on in society these days and stuff. So I figure, like, man, you know what I'm saying, like, let's talk about it a little bit and shit like that. Because I know a lot of people that deal with it in different ways and shit. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying, I like to read. I like to read a lot, you know what I'm saying? Because whenever I deal with shit, like, let's say I deal with like stress, depression, or anxiety, or whatever, I have a problem in life, right? And I don't know how to deal with it. Man, shit, sometimes I don't even like to talk to anybody about it. I just like to read a book about it because you know, knowledge is power. Once I know about it, I understand it. And then it's like, okay, you know, it's not that bad. I can deal with this. Like, I can get over it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. So, you know, I've read a lot of books and shit and whatever. You know, enough about that. But I just wanted to break a couple things down for the people who are listening. Like, I don't know. You know, I really don't know who's listening, the age range, because really, like, we're really, you know, we're trying to shape this show and trying to talk about a variety of topics and have different type of shows and different type of vibes and different type of conversations, you know what I'm saying? Because this is what this show is about. It's about conversations, you know what I'm saying? Like, real shit. So, yeah, man, and like, because that's one thing that, like, doesn't discriminate is stress and depression and anxiety. You know, it differs every race, every age range, every gender. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everyone deals with this shit. But like a little bit of like research that, like, I always want to break some shit down for some people. I don't know. Because like I said, I feel like when I understand shit, it'll help me deal with it better. But if you just look up like anxiety, like on Google or whatever, the definition, like I guess text would be the feeling of worry, nervousness, or unease, typically about an imminent event or something with an uncertain outcome. So that's like the textbook definition and shit. But what it really, how I see it, what it really is just like a reaction to like stress, like dealing with shit like traffic, bro, or like a coworker that it's just hard to deal with, like just working with like people. It's like fuck. It's just you dread your shit. You dread working at these jobs. You're gonna be dreading traffic. I don't know, maybe like problems at the house or some shit, whatever, and like throughout your day, you're like dreading the future, and you're like thinking about it, and you're like you just like worry. It's excessive worry. That's what anxiety is. Is like it's just like excessive worrying. You know what I'm saying? You just think about the future too much, and like, you know, shit. Sometimes, bro, like, you know, that can kind of be a good thing because, like, let's say, like you have that good, because you know some people might call it good energy because it's like, let's say you have anxiety about like a job interview or like a test. Shit, if you have anxiety about a job interview, you gonna want to be like, man, hold up, let me go ahead and spend this. You're gonna spend that extra time and energy to go the extra mile to get the job interview. It's like, let me read about the company more. Let me dress a little better. Let me make sure my hair's right. Let me go ahead and get my hair cut. Or if you get
that's like the balance between the two. You got people that do that think that way, and then you got the other people that the anxiety overcomes them.
Yeah.
You know, so that's how I split. Like me, like I said, I'm that type of person. I'll get anxiety about a job, start looking into it, see what I really like, get more prepared. You know, because I'm kind of nervous. I'm like, okay, let me get a little bit more prepared than what I am. But then when I get there, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to kill it. I'm not really like letting it overcome me. But then there's other people who probably like bomb it, you know, sometimes because they might be too nervous.
Yeah. So, there you go. So it's just like you gotta find that middle ground, or I don't know. So yeah, man. It's just like anxiety is just excessive worrying and shit, and just people deal with it in different degrees. It hits people differently. People deal with it differently. So when I've kind of, I guess, been like researching or like digging around, trying to understand more about anxiety, I try to understand it in like different aspects. So like one aspect of anxiety, like the psychology, I looked up like more of like a psychological definition of anxiety, like what's the mind going through. And this is off of American Psychological Association, off of their website. And their definition of anxiety is an emotion, right off the bat, they're calling it an emotion. You know what I'm saying? An emotion characterized by feeling of tension, worry, thoughts, and physical changes like increased blood pressure. People with anxiety disorders usually have recurring intrusive thoughts or concerns. So it's just the same shit. Recurring intrusive thoughts or concerns. You get tense about it. You know, word just excessive fucking thoughts and shit. And shit. One of the things I fucking wanted to talk about too is like, see, they're talking about when you have intense anxiety, you know what I'm saying, like you get like those physical changes, like, you know what I'm saying, like on some nervous shit, like let's say on the job interview shit, like you said, like the anxiety at your crib, like let's say you're at your crib and like you're cool, bro, but you have anxiety, so you're going the extra mile with getting dressed and looking up the website and make sure you learn about the company or whatever. But then once you get there and you get like nervous, bro, and then you get the physical symptoms like sweaty palms, heavy breathing, nervousness. Like there's a physical, biological, like literally, bro, in your body that happens from your mind, bro. You know what I'm saying? And like I feel like that's just something like people gotta understand and shit is that like you physically are putting yourself through like going through stuff, like reacting because of your mind just fucking going off the rails. And that's like that's fucking
It's really, I don't even know. It's like a big vault. It stores stuff.
yeah. So
You remember things. You know what I'm saying? Literally, that's how you live every day. Your mind is already have everything prepared for you to just wake up and go. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Just kind of live it.
yeah. So yeah, man. You know, when you go through this intensively, you can go through these physical symptoms, man. You know what I'm saying? Like the dizziness, the lightheadedness, the sweaty palms, the short term memory loss, like the stuttering or shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I looked up some other like physical symptoms, fast heartbeat, headaches, fatigue, nausea, irritability, muscle aches, dizziness, dry mouth, sweating, twitching, trembling. You know what I'm saying? All kind of different kinds of physical symptoms that could happen when you're going through intense anxiety attacks, panic attacks, whatever you want to call them, man. You know, freakouts, whatever. You know what I'm saying? These are all kind of common. And it's just, you know, it's interesting because, like I said, it's all through because of your mind. Like the psychology of an anxiety attack or of your anxiety is it's just the recurring thought, you know, recurring concerns.
The mind is a very bad thing to lose.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. So another thing about anxiety, like a different way to understand some of it, I guess, is I looked up like the biological, I guess, things about it, and like so some people, or not even some people, but like it's been like some evidence and all this shit, and people get medicated, prescribed medicine because they like it's a thing that like you know you have these chemical. Some people have these chemical imbalances in their heads, like you know, like brain chemicals like serotonin and like all this shit. So like they have to get prescribed like Xanax or whatever the fuck. They get their like mind right, like or get their brain chemicals back to where they're supposed to be. So, but man, there's a lot of controversy around that. Some people think that that shit isn't needed, or just you know, big pharma, the pharmaceutical industry has a bad reputation already in itself of like you know overprescribing and shit. You know, just being sketch in general. But yeah, man, you know what I'm saying. That's uh,
Is that so? Is that word around?
what
That got there like that?
sketch, big pharma.
Yeah.
Oh fuck yeah, dude. Dude, pharmaceutical, they're you know, they're just kind of like the prison industry. Like they're in it for the money. Like they want to prescribe everybody everything so they can keep the business going. You know what I'm saying? Especially with like mental disorders, bro. Like anxiety. You know, there's like a lot of that housewife shit. Like a lot of this like you know prescribe all these doctors trying to, you know, find all these housewives, you know, rich housewives to keep them at home and just keep them like drugged out, and all these, rich dudes that are paying for it and shit like that. And whatever, man. But yeah, man, Big Pharma is definitely sketch with that. I mean, you know, I met some people. I met some people who had some pretty intense cases of like anxiety or whatever, and or depression. They've been prescribed Xanax or or Klonopins or different kinds of shit, bro. And shit, man. I mean, if all right, Shit, fucking Troit just showed me a fucking sign. My bad, guys. But yeah, man. You know, some people get prescribed that shit, and I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's just,
No, yeah, I know someone who like was prescribed a lot of pills or whatever. Like they used to take like to me an amount that you personally, I'm just like, nah, I know you don't need all that type shit. Like regardless of what they tell you. Like,
yeah.
I'm looking at how many they're telling you to take, nigga. That in itself is not good. You know what I'm saying already, but people don't think like that. Like they're I'm taking 8 pills because my doctor told me to take them. They're all different. They all do different things. Nigga, first of all, you're taking 8 pills. No matter what, 8 pills of anything.
Yeah.
At once, like all during the day, certain times, nigga. Like that's not, like there's not that much going on in your body that really you need that much, you know.
Yeah, man. So
they're not doing it right, but it's cool.
You know, a lot of people get addicted to these pills. A lot of people get addicted to that feeling of being numb, of not having to deal with the reality of their of life or their inadequacies, of like how they're coming up short or why they feel sad. Like some people are just can't handle their emotions. You know what I'm saying? They get used to being numb or whatever, what have you. I don't know. I guess it is what it is. But so, yeah. So that's like I guess a few general things about anxiety and stuff like that. Just to cover like the surface. But I mean, like because anxiety, bro, is like it's like a physical thing. It's a mind thing. It's like a whole. It's like a whole thing, like a whole fucking show. Like it's a whole fucking thing going on.
A whole creation.
Yeah.
A whole other person.
So like, if you let it keep on going, if you don't like really handle your shit, if you don't do something about your problems, like there's some physical consequences that could happen. Like because you're already like putting yourself through so much. You could have like a suppression of your immune system. You could have digestive disorders. Muscle tension, continuous rapid breathing. Like I said, short-term memory loss, premature coronary artery disease, heart attack. Even just from so much worrying, so much of your heart racing, so much like So I know so much people who like go to work and just take Red Bull and coffee and just go, and then just go through so much shit and never get a time to like, you know what I'm saying? And like, and so much of this kind of fucking behavior can lead to, or like that kind of lifestyle can lead to like, depression and, some suicidal thoughts even at some points. And you gotta find a way to like calm your mind, unplug and relax and just chill. You know what I'm saying? And shit like that. But yeah, bro. Like
let me say something.
Yeah.
Anxiety means you have no. I'm not gonna say you have no faith, but anxiety means you have little faith. If you know who God is and know the story of His Son Jesus Christ, you would know that faith is like the most important thing in the world. So you definitely need to have faith. So if you have anxiety, it means you have little to no faith. And faith is literally what keeps us together. Put together is how we were built. We were built on faith. So that's really what people need. You know what I'm saying? They need more faith.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And like we said, man, a lot of this is just dealing with stress, man. Like your stress response and how to handle your emotions, man. You know what I'm saying? How to get through shit. You know what I'm saying? Like so, I looked up this thing, man, about about like this thing called a stress response. Like whenever you face something in life and you have anxiety and your body goes through like some stress, like a stress response, right? And there's like two elements of a stress response, and the first is like the perception of the challenge, and the second is the like the automatic reaction, which is like a fight or flight. Like you go to work, and like as soon as you get there, your boss just starts like bitching at you. It's like you get there, you see what's going on, you take it in, and then a minute like she starts like yapping, like just mouthing off, yelling. That's when like your body goes to like fuck, do I want to deal with this or do I just take it? And you have to go, and then your body goes through all that. Like your blood pressure goes up, your breath speeds up, your mind starts going fast. You kind of start talking choppy, like you don't want to deal with shit. It's like a fight or flight response type of deal going on in your body, and like that's kind of like like when like our ancestors and shit, like when they deal with it like in the fucking like wild and shit when they're hunting. You fucking see a fucking bear or some shit, you had that fight or flight. That's straight then. But now we're dealing in a different type of setting where it's like in this type of environment where we see like a threat, which could be something like that, or like dealing with like your spouse or like a family member that you're about to get into it with. As soon as you walk into that like room, you get that like fight or flight, like man, fuck, I already know what they about to say, I already know what's about to happen. You get your body goes to that, and then it's like dealing with that, bro. You know what I'm saying?
It's not even. We gotta have. Our minds are messed up, so we're not gonna get anywhere. Like those statistics are not gonna improve. Like, and
what it do?
And I say that by like our minds are not right. Like it's not even your body. It's your mind before it's your body. So anything your body does is from a product of the mind. So to fix any of this, people gonna have to get their minds right.
Yeah, I was gonna. I feel you, bro. No, my bad. I didn't mean to cut you off or anything. But yeah, I feel you, dog. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to. I mean, we could talk about this some more. I mean, you already know we're gonna have some more episodes about this. But I mean, we gotta. I don't want to wrap these things up just yet. But I just kind of wanted to. Well, yeah, but I wanted to still switch over to this video. At least transition to. I wanted everyone who's listening now or in the future. I wanted to show you guys this because. Like I said, the topic of today's shit is dealing with stress and anxiety and stuff like that, and a lot of it, as we talked about today, was dealing with just the general emotion of of uh of being stressed, of being like whatever, and how to deal with it. Because, like I said, a lot of times it's just dealing with that emotion from the get go, and not. And just learning how to deal with it and not making a big deal about it. You know what I'm saying? And like, I don't know.
You're saying it right.
You know what I'm saying?
Once we recognize it,
it's just because like we're like creatures of habit, and like it's like a lot of shit is learned behavior, and like let's say we go through some shit that's stressful. If we have been shown to like freak the fuck out, like let's say our family or our peers are known to be like aggressive and violent, then we are just prone to be aggressive and violent or whatever. But if someone were to beat her, like all right, put us to like martial arts, or like have someone like a basketball coach sit you down and like you know what I'm saying, like hey man, when you get mad, you can't fucking tell the referee to fuck off or some shit. You know what I'm saying? You gotta learn how to deal with this shit. So before we transition to this video or whatever, I just wanna, because this video is about your ego, dealing with it, learning how to deal with your emotions and shit, and how to stand just the correlation between like your mind, your how to make decisions better, and some more hippie words that I can't really think of right now. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and transition to this video. We might switch back. We might end it after it. I'm not too sure.
Peace,
But
God.
we're gonna go ahead and transition here. Go ahead for it, Troy.
It's evil.
Well. Let me ask you this then, Bobby.
Yes.
You say the most evil force in the universe is the ego.
Yeah.
Now,
which is left? Which is left?
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
One of the questions I have for you, if that's the case, some of the most profound speakers, scholars that I have met, that I have seen, are egotistical.
No. Let me explain when we talk about ego. Try to understand this. The ego we're talking about is not the egotistical thing that you know of. That's just a guide down here that happens based on fear. The ego that we're talking about here is the false self. We must make this distinction. You have a spiritual self that came down here. Then you have a false self that came into existence that supposed itself to be real, but it's really not real at all. And it took the place of the real you that's asleep inside of your body. That's your soul. So most of the people here, most of the people down here, most of the people are asleep. But what is running ourselves as we sleep is our ego self, our false self. So now, but the ego that we're talking about, as far as expressed based on human function, that's a different form of the ego. But one of the ways you get back to getting rid of that false self is humility. But so there's a difference in the ego, with a person being egotistical, and the ego that I'm talking about is just your general life itself. That you suspect that you are. That you suspect that you are the person you are, but in other words, you are a greater person than what you suspect. Because why? Because when you die, what happens to that particular person that you thought you were? It goes. You see what I'm saying? It dissolves or bounces around as thought forms or ghosts, but mainly your soul goes on to have other experiences. So that's the ego that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the ego as far as how we function based on traits of who we think we are. I'm talking about something entirely different.
So, Bobby, what about when people say the ego is also an entity? Like some people also classify it with the demiurge. Well, would you have to?
That would also be the ego. That would be the false self. But this particular ego that we're talking about, that's the false self, actually thinks it's human, and its expression could be egotistical. But we're talking about just that's a whole other paradigm that we get into. We'll have to come back on that. But the evil. But my point here is this: we create.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? It's your boy Danny G, bro. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna have time to end this normally. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go ahead and jump in. Shit. I mean, this video where we about to play, like I said, you know, it's just gonna be about what we've been talking about, man. Dealing with stress, dealing with your emotions, and the ego, how it's involved and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But you know, we're gonna let you go ahead and watch that and shit. Hopefully, you know, you pick up on some shit. You understand what we're trying to say and everything like that. But fuck, you know what I'm saying? We finna sign out, man. You know, appreciate Lamont hanging out with us. Appreciate Troy. You know what I'm saying? Doing what he does for the show and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? Homie Wisco Fresh is here. He just walked in. You know what I'm saying? Probably finna burn one or something. But yeah, man, we'll go ahead and let y'all jump back into the video. It's gonna be some more tight shit on here, you know what I'm saying? Y'all keep on watching. Y'all gonna catch the message of what we trying to say, what we trying to talk about. We're gonna talk about it some more. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, we're finna sign out. I'm Danny G. You know what I'm saying? Y'all fuck with Troit Ent, Troit Ent Studios in the Circuit Podcast. Follow us, like us, all that shit. Facebook, YouTube. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be my slogan or my whatever. But yeah, man, Danny G signing out. We're gonna go ahead and pass it back over to the video. That's it. Peace.